easy topic. It is tough topic for both engineers as well as from people who are from commerce background. Only thing is commerce background people will have to will have an advantage as they have known what is balance sheet, they know what is asset liability, etc. But it's a tough topic for them also. Okay. Now overall, if you see, ethical and professional standard is an easy topic area. Okay. Anybody should be able to excel in this topic. Okay. Corporate finance is a easy topic area for all the people. I will say that it's like because only you have corporate governance and all those things, it's a easy topic area. Okay. You have portfolio is a easy topic area. Okay, so some people may find confusing, but it's a easy topic area. Alternative is a easy topic area. So what I suggest to the students is they should do very well in this easy topic. They should command this topic areas. Okay. Now there are tough topic areas like quant is tough. Okay. Fixed income is a tough topic area. Okay. Financial reporting is tough topic area. But if you see these topic areas, they are tough, but they are having a very high weightage. So even though they are tough, you have to put in effort. Okay, and try to excel in this. Okay. Equity analysis also, I would say that it's easy. Okay. Now derivatives, it is like in between. What happens is like derivatives weightage is very less and you have lots of stuff to study. There are 6 readings that you have to study over here. Okay. So that is why I will say that first part of derivatives is easy, like futures, forwards, okay, options, okay, the basic options, the properties. But if you go to the second part like risk management of option strategies, then you have like the advanced properties of options, then swaps, then it becomes difficult. Likewise, I can say that fixed income also first part is simple, second part is slightly tough. Okay, quant I can also say that. So whenever you have a tough topic area, I would say that you try to get an understanding of the tough topic area, try to cover those parts with very good understanding of the easy area. Okay, maybe like tough area you want to get the basic done, may not want to get into so much detail. Okay, but you have to like build our own strategy as to how to approach the particular topic area. Okay, now let's see the benefits of CFA program. Okay, as I have said that it is very much application driven, and since it comes from the practice analysis, every year it is being done, so it's very much current. So you can find that every year there is a slight change in the syllabus. Okay, but in 5 years the institute does a overhaul of the syllabus, and you will find that it is aligned to what the industry is demanding. What the industry demands from a practitioner, it is aligned to that. Okay, the CFA provides a opportunity which is global in nature, because this is a worldwide examination. A person who is in USA writing this examination, a person who is in India writing this examination, if both of them are passing the examination, you can say that there is a like the standards of the examination is being met by both. Okay, so that means both will be looked at par by the companies, by the peers, by the universities, wherever you are going. So it is providing you a global scope. Okay, also like it provides a global opportunity to work with the firms which are worldwide. So you will find that many of these financial firms, they have spread across the world, and CFA being one designation, one gold standard, this is very much that what they prefer. Okay. Now CFA Institute provides with a lifelong learning program. It is not that only once you have completed the examination you are done. Okay, it provides with a lifelong learning program. Okay, now in some countries the institute get candidates, they get regulatory waivers from writing other regulatory examination. In India, institute has come up with a strategic partnership with the institute which is promoted by SEBI, known as NISM, that is National Institute of Security Market. So I hope that in future there will be some regulatory waivers. Okay, now there is one thing which I want to highlight over here. CFA examination, okay, they are not approved by AICTE. It's a professional examination, but it is not approved by AICTE. Currently there is a court case which is there in the Delhi High Court, okay, between AICTE versus the CFA Institute. Okay, now because of this court case, the institute has not declared examination center in India. Okay, excuse me. what the institute does is the institute gets the student registered for this particular examination, and when a student has registered for this examination, let's say the enrollment has happened, the institute goes to the Delhi High Court and try to get a stay order. The stay order, once it is achieved, the stay order will help the institute to conduct the examination in India. Okay, as of now, what from the time the CFA Institute has started the examination in India, is only once, that was in 2008 December, okay, where the examination were not conducted in India. Otherwise, all the time examinations have been conducted in India. Okay, if this stay order they get early, then they have examination centers in India as the 4 metros plus Bangalore usually, but for this particular December examination they had Bangalore, New Delhi and Mumbai as the 3 test centers. Okay, they did not have any other place. Okay, so what we are seeing is like if they get it early, Bangalore is one of the center. However, if they get it late, okay, then only one center is being selected, and that is Mumbai. If they, let's say, get it around 20th of May or 25th of May, they conduct only examination in Mumbai. Okay, but I have seen that only once it has happened, so there is a very high probability, I would say that maybe around 95% of the probability is there that the examination would happen in India. In fact, like June, that is very likely, because in June you have level 1, 2 and 3. As a result, the enrollments are very high. In December, the enrollments are only for the level 1. As a result, maybe an institute might think that, okay, let's not have an examination in India. And see, this happened in 2008, where the number of enrollments in India were very low. Now the enrollments are very high in number, so it makes sense for the court to understand the requirement of the candidates, of the students who would have to go outside and write. So the institute, the Delhi High Court, we have seen on humanitarian grounds, they have been giving this stay order to the institute to conduct examination in India. Okay. Now let's see the work profiles of the candidates or of the professionals who have passed this examination. Okay, now the work that they do is like really challenging in terms of like the brain power that is required. Also, they are rewarding in terms of satisfaction. Also, in terms of monetary wise. Okay, what I would say, like I have highlighted some of the work wherein like the CFA course really helps, like this. If you see this security valuation, that is valuation of equity, fixed income, okay, portfolio management, combining the securities to in a portfolio, okay, investment management, the similar stuff, venture capital management, managing a venture capital fund. Okay, then there are like some more work areas wherein you can say that, okay, these are somewhere aligned to whatever you have studied, like credit rating, corporate finance, risk management, financial management, business analysis of a business, like understanding what business is like, value the business. Okay, then operational analysis, because lots of these financial firms, you have to understand the operational structure, you have to streamline the operation process so that it becomes profitable for the company. Okay, then there are some allied areas wherein CFA helps, like financial analytics is one area where CFA knowledge helps. Then in consulting, when you're consulting company in finance related matters, it helps. Okay, then there are like big companies like investment banks which have large projects which have to be managed, which since CFA they have got good knowledge about the investment bank operations. They are typically employed to drive the project management of big scale in these companies. Okay, then there are like lots of people who are involved